Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, getting your business online and growing in the new marketplace, how to survive as an Aussie manufacturer, and celebrity chef and entrepreneur Luke Mangan shares his secrets to success. Hello, welcome back to Kochie's Business Builders. All that plus a whole lot more on today's show, including how to deal with local and domestic competitors to ensure the survival of your business. But first, news that you can use. And over the last year, 83% of Australian small businesses have experienced cash flow problems. And would you believe 23% have had to write off bad debts? It is an absolutely punishing part of any business today. Bottom line is you've got to stay on top of cash flow. Now, in last week's show, our cash flow guru, Anthony Igra, outlined 6 ways to ensure your customers pay on time. If you missed it, go to the website and put it into practice. Now, getting online is absolutely vital for every Australian business today. According to Google, searches for local pizza joints are 10 times more common than searches even for Lady Gaga. With that in mind, let's take a look at how you can take your business to the next level and get online. I met up with Dean Salakis from the Party People and Google's Ross McDonald to find out more about the benefits of having your business online. So Dean, tell us about the Party People.
Okay, so the Party People was started by my mum about 30 years ago, actually. She was a clown called Patches, and she used to cater.
Is that right?
That's true.
A clown started a party business.
That's right. That's
what
right.
A great
so
story.
I come from a bit of a funny family, but you know, my brother and I took over the business about 5 years ago, and we grew the business, and yeah, here we are today in Australia's largest party store.
And so when did you go online?
We launched our e-commerce store in 1999. Before that, we had a one-page website.
That's a fair while ago.
Yes,
You would have been right at the head of the curve. How big is the online side of the business compared with the total?
The online is more than double the retail side of the business, so it's quite a substantial portion of what we do.
So Ross, why would a business like this be so well suited to online?
The categories that do best online are those where size of range is really important. All the consumer surveys, all the data we see say that shoppers really value online when they can get the product that's available in range. That's really key.
But I suppose when you were going online, you had to build everything yourself.
Yes.
Whereas today, for businesses going online, the tools are so available and so cheap.
Oh, absolutely, and I think that's one way the industry has matured, that Dean's experience, they had to build pretty much everything themselves, whereas now you can virtually buy that off the shelf and set up your own package. And in some cases, you don't actually need to buy the software, you can rent it. You can pay X dollars per month, and that'll get you a shop front and a payment basket and a checkout. And it's the barriers to entry are really, really low for retailers.
How do you drive sales to your online store?
The first thing we started doing when we first got online was definitely AdWords. It was something where we focused in terms of getting our advertising up on Google, the main search engine, and making sure that people could find us when they did searches.
So Ross, when somebody searches, you get 50,000 pages worth of answers. I only go through the first page, 2, 3 pages. How do you get that pole position?
It's really about making sure you have the most relevant information for whatever it is that people have looked for. So if it's pirate costumes, then the sites that'll go up high on the list are those who tell me how many pirate costumes they've got, what colours they are, what sizes they are, what weights, shapes, are they available now, what prices. So the more relevant information, more pictures, more images, videos of people wearing them, those things will always rank more highly over someone who's just got a single line saying, yeah, I sell pirate costumes.
We hear and read so much from traditional retailers saying online's killing us. You know, it's sort of like the devil. What Dean's experience is and what you're saying is just use it like another store and use it in reverse. Drive people to your bricks and mortar.
And it's the store that's open on Sundays when you're not open, or in the evening when you're not open. It should be adding to your business and really growing the overall pie for you.
But Dean, yes, you're good online, but then your customers online are being wooed by competition, not only in Australia, but overseas. Is that a bit scary?
By standards in, say, the US, this is an average party store. And, you know, we're competing with them, and that's a bit of a concern for us, and that's something that we're really focused on and keeping a close eye on.
So, Ross, how can Dean get an advantage?
We know from all the data we see that Australians actually like to shop from Australian stores. There's a trust factor. Shipping and returns should be easier. So if local retailers are prepared to put in a little bit of effort to work out how the systems work, then there should be an advantage over almost unknown overseas brands.
Well, thank you guys for helping out there. Great to see you.
Thanks, David.
Another thing Ross mentioned was to make sure your website is mobile friendly. Searches using mobiles and smartphones have increased 5-fold in the last 2 years and is going to continue to grow. Look, if you want to get your business online hassle-free, you need the KBB Webinar Box, where you can produce your own professional website following our easy steps. Go to the website for more information. Up next on Business Builders, an Aussie manufacturing success, and later I talk with celebrity chef Luke Mangan.
This business tip brought to you by NAB. We see Australian business.
Taking your business online is a cost-effective way to expand your business, both domestically and overseas. Here are 2 vital tips to make the most of being online. Create a merchant account. For you to accept payments, you need to set up a merchant account. When applying for a merchant account, banks often provide the best rates. You'll need to provide us with information such as a business plan and personal credit history to assist in assessing your application. Set yourself up to accept payments online using NAB Transact. NAB Transact allows small businesses to take credit card payments without the need for a merchant terminal or any other additional software. It can be accessed from a web browser. Your transactions will occur in real time, so you can see the payment outcome on the spot. It's such an easy way to get you doing business online.
Visit nab.com.au/smallbusiness for more information. There seems to be so much bad media about Australian manufacturing at the moment, that we can't compete with China and that we should just give it away. Well, here at KBB, we don't buy it. There are so many great Australian manufacturing success stories that we should be learning from them to build the industry rather than reject it. We asked top manufacturing expert Jorane Roos to visit Actron Air, Australia's largest air conditioning manufacturer, to hear how they use their Australian-made badge as a competitive advantage.
Since about 2008, Australia has increased its cost level in its operating environment dramatically. It's gone from what was roughly 98% or parity with the US operating environment in about 2008 to today be the 3rd most expensive country in the world at about 50% higher than the US, only cheaper than Switzerland and Norway. How have you coped with this?
We've continued to focus on innovation, but we've also looked at what we're doing in-house ourselves. We run a business excellence program here with the foundations of Lean Sigma, using that methodology and running across our business to look at areas where we actually contribute waste to ourselves and taking that out of our business to remain competitive. So we benchmark globally on many things as well, not just technology, but our service as well. And we try to strive to ensure that everything we're doing is actually adding value and not cost into the products and services that we offer.
An environment of high cost. Many firms consider moving production offshore. Have you considered doing the same for your operations?
Being an Australian manufacturer is a competitive edge for us and has always been a competitive edge. And we believe that is a really strong part of our business, and we want to remain here. And so our focus is to keep ourselves onshore, competing against the multinationals.
Many studies of successful manufacturing firms in high-cost countries shows that the ability to co-locate development with manufacturing more than offset any savings you have by moving manufacturing to low-cost environments and the coordination cost that incurs. Would you concur with that statement?
We have on one location here our manufacturing and our research and development, our engineering skills, our engineering faculty is all here on this one campus, and we feel that gives us an advantage. It gives us a speed that trying to communicate offshore doesn't offer us.
So why is it that you have survived this long? Why is it that you become this successful?
Focusing on quality and innovation has been a major cornerstone for the success of this organisation, and it's one that keeps us in front of our competitors. Pick those partners who can actually add value to you from an innovative point of view, not just sell your product. You remain close with industry bodies. You influence industry bodies, governments, and anybody that is around your industry where you're working, so that you can actually influence the outcomes of what's going on in your industry.
That sounds very good, and we wish you the best of luck for your continued activities.
Thank you.
I love Actron Air, family business that hires professional managers, and they have a wonderful culture on the shop floor. Go to the website because they explain how they build that culture. It's worth looking at. Coming up next, I get to chat with entrepreneur and genius in the kitchen, Luke Mangan. Plus, we'll answer some of your most pressing business questions.
This segment brought to you by NAB. We see Australian business.
My brother Paul and I started WasteTech 20 years ago. Humble beginnings with only 3 guys on the floor and myself doing all the bookwork and the sales. Today we've now got a team of 84 staff. We've got a turnover of just under 24 million. And we now build products like the waste compactors for shopping centres, cardboard compactors, waste chutes in high-rise apartment buildings, the big transfer stations and the transfer trailer that we see behind us, as well as waste sorting technology.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
With the carbon tax coming in now, that's actually pushing landfill costs up. So for us, we're really focusing on this waste separation technology. It's helping business now divert more than 80% of their waste from landfill. So for us, it's quite exciting and certainly very innovative.
In terms of what you've learned over the last 10 to 15 years, what would you do differently today?
I would definitely embark on a business plan, a formal business plan earlier. We did our business plan about 10 years ago, and that put a lot of structure to the business and gave us a lot of direction, and it's certainly a much more sustainable way of running a business compared to the early days was probably more reactive to customer needs. So yeah, now it's a lot more sustainable. Our previous banker was not very reactive to our growth needs, and certainly being a manufacturer, we're holding varying amounts of work in progress, so our cash flow is very affected by, when we get busier, we're tying up lots of steel, lots of labour in work in progress. So certainly with the NAB, when they came on board, they came and spoke to us about what are our needs. They knew about the manufacturing industry. We were able to convey to them, our problems. Also with growth, we've got asset purchases that we need, new welders, new plant and equipment. So yeah, they listened to us, and certainly the offer that was put forward was exactly what we needed, and it was actually commercially viable as well.
Appreciate your time, Neil. Thank you very much.
No worries at all. Thanks, Tim.
Visit nab.com.au/small business for more information. Look, we're hearing about lots of celebrity chefs going broke these days, which makes Luke Mangan's success even more impressive. 9 restaurants across 3 countries and acting as head chef for Virgin flights across the Pacific and America. His empire is growing not just because he's a good chef, but because he's a good businessman. Let's find out what makes him tick. The tax office statistics show that the average return of cafes and restaurants is minus 10%. How do you manage to keep growing and be so successful?
Well, I think we're lucky because we position ourselves with great partners or in great spaces. For example, this is glass in the Sydney Hilton, so you've got 600 hotel rooms above you, which, you get people filtering down to that. But it is a tough business.
How do you run the business? How do you structure it?
Well, I like to treat each restaurant or each business, even our product division, separate. They all run individually. So they're all responsible for themselves. And also if one restaurant goes down, touch wood it doesn't, it won't bring the rest down. And then I always put a restaurant manager and a chef in charge of that restaurant. And they just flow from there.
And they're sort of like your divisional managers.
Exactly. I don't go and hire the staff under them because they're on the ground and they're working it.
Do they have a stake in each of the restaurants?
Some
Is
of them,
that how you motivate
some of them
bonuses?
do. A lot of the chefs, all my chefs in these 9 restaurants have been with me for minimum 10 years. So what I do is put them on a profit share. So if our food cost is good, our wage cost is good, and as they get, longer in the company, they'll get a little share of the business as well.
So look, with each of the restaurants, say they have the chef and the manager.
Yeah.
Do you impose processes on them, like the Meng way of running a restaurant?
There's a base menu and a base way we deliver service. I hate formal restaurants, stuffy, waiters looking down on customers. So I get them all together. Every quarter we fly in all the head chefs and all the managers.
Like a staff conference?
Yeah, it's a little staff conference. Sometimes we go on a cruise ship for a weekend or whatever it may be. And I get them together and just tell them, remember what we are and what we're doing. Customer is always right, 99.9% of the time. But also, giving them an experience that they walk away with and say, wow, because there is so much competition in this business and we've got to be different. And the staff need to deliver my message of being relaxed, have fun with the customer, but give great food for value for money.
When you look at the 3 key things that you think, boy, they really have provided the foundation for this business.
Work hard, and I think that goes with anything.
Yeah.
Because you've got to show the staff that you're willing to sweep the floor and take the garbage out as well.
So be the dynamo, lead from the front.
Exactly. Yeah. Then I think passion. You've got to show your passion, but you've also got to have your passion. You can't just. I couldn't do what I do if I didn't love it, and I'm sure that's with it being a journalist or whatever it may be. And I think making sure the customer is satisfied.
Some great tips there from Luke on how to build a business empire which can apply to virtually any industry. And as with all our entrepreneurs, you can see the full interview on the website, kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au. Coming up next, it's time for Ask Kochie, where we answer your burning business questions.
It's Tech Tip Time with Val Quinn.
Being able to give your business a really professional look right from the start is a definite advantage. Office 365 is a great way of doing this. Office 365 is a cloud-based productivity solution. So what it means is that you can access Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and even Exchange Mail from within a web browser. So you don't actually buy the applications, you just pay to use them. You can access your Office applications from anywhere, so you can be outside of the office or even using a tablet or smartphone. The other thing to keep in mind is that with Office 365, because it's cloud-based, you need to have a high-quality internet connection and one that you can rely on. Otherwise, you might not be able to access your files when you need to.
It's time to start tackling your queries that we receive through the Business Builders website, Facebook and Twitter. First up on Facebook, Nicole posts, we have a mobile wildlife business, like a mobile zoo, and I was wanting to know if there was any information available on dealing with the growing pains of a new business. Nicole, when you grow quickly, it is all about cash flow. It's all about managing your money and also spending on the areas to support that growth, but making sure you've got the business to deliver it and the new customers coming in to justify that extra expense. Now, if you go to the Business Builders website, and this is the URL that will take you straight to a story with more information. Our final question for today is from Libby, who runs an independent sporting goods retailer and says that Rebel Sport has moved into town. How do I compete with such a major competitor? Well, Libby, the way you do it is to actually highlight your independence, highlight you in the business, because a big franchise that comes into town really doesn't have any relationship with your customer base. You do. So kill your customers with kindness, kill them with service, and also build your marketing around local associations, local netball, rugby, cricket club, or whatever. You be the local that has the locals' interest at heart, and that puts Rebel Sport on the outer. Well, that's all the time we have for questions for this week. We'll do a whole new batch in our next episode, but don't forget to access our Business Builders experts through the Business Builders coaching service. Go to the website for all the details on how to make an appointment online and also the costs involved. I'll catch you next time. Next week on KBB, it's the ultimate guide to Sales 101. We look at navigating the world of online marketing, plus the inspiring story of a couple of young entrepreneurs who are really making a difference in the world.